It's time for another top 10 list. We're doing top 10 solo action movies with my special guest, Trip Pickell.
Hello.
Thanks for tuning into the Tom Patelson Show. It's time for a top 10 list. We're doing our top 10 solo action movies. This is where I call it the one versus many, where it's basically one hero tackling many others, and we talked about doing this for months.
Yeah.
Fabulous. This is Trip Pickell, actor, stunt coordinator, stuntman, jack of all trades, who I've known for 25 years.
Yeah.
That's effing crazy.
Yeah.
That is absolutely nuts.
Here we go.
Was it difficult to do the list?
Yeah, I couldn't. So to pick 10 action films
Yeah.
was impossible. So for me today, I whittled it down to anything before 1998, which is when I moved out here. So I'm compiled what inspired me to do what I do.
These are childhood lovable movies.
What impressed me then to do what I'm doing, which is, acting and fighting and on camera.
Mine are a lot of older movies too, and we were talking about this. This list will change tomorrow because he's going to say something, and I'll go, "Holy crap, that should have been on my list," and I'll forget that.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump in with number 10. Give me number 10.
Okay, number 10. This is the first time I remember reading a book and seeing the movie, and it is way before our time, but it has influenced me in many, many stories, and it's 1954, starring Alan Ladd. Shane.
Shane is a great Western.
Yeah.
Shane is a great Western. Jack Palance plays the villain in Shane, who later goes on to star in everything playing the villain.
Yeah, I believe this was like introducing Jack Palance. I think it was his first movie.
Now, it's not as good as Jack Palance, or I think it's Palance, Jack Palance, when he plays the villain in the movie Hawk the Slayer.
Okay. Here's number 11.
Shane is a classic. All right, I'm doing number 10. I have to consult my list to make sure I don't mess this up. All right. Number 10 comes from 2014, and I would be remiss if I didn't at least put one of these movies on the list because it is a giant action thriller, and I wouldn't have thought by any stretch that Keanu Reeves would be on my list. 2014's is John Wick. It is a good time action movie, one guy shooting everybody in the face. There's so many face shots in John Wick. But yeah, it's tough to leave John Wick out of my list. So number 10 is John Wick with Keanu Reeves and everybody else. Ian McShane. Ian McShane is John Wick. I love Ian McShane. I do a terrible Ian McShane impression, but
Do it. Do it from...
I'll go ahead and do it for you. Hi, John Wick. Yeah, the table's calling. Yeah.
You're a panda. He's a panda.
He's a panda. Oh, that's right. He's the voice in the first Kung Fu Panda. Good Lord. That is number 10. Give me number 9.
Number 9. 1993. This is me in college. I forget. I probably went to see this in the theater. I mainly love this because of the intro to Capoeira and Mark Dacascos, who was just a phenomenal martial artist and actor. Only the Strong.
Who's in Only the Strong?
Mark Dacascos, Jeffrey Lewis, Sheldon Lettich, if I'm pronouncing that last name correctly, was a big director of a lot of the action films I really loved. It's another Shane. He is a special forces guy who is stationed in Brazil, comes back to his high school, sees that it's kind of overrun by the drug lords, and he like in Shane, he finds the dark version of the Capoeira master who's running it, so they end up kind of coming ahead. But Mark Dacascos, he's that action star that he didn't walk around all tough. He's just super charismatic, like one of the nice guys, but man, he's just phenomenal gymnast, martial artist.
I don't know this.
Oh
movie.
man, it's one of my favorites.
There's one that's on the list. At least it's not Jim Cotta. Jim Cotta on your list? I bet it is.
I had to take it off this morning.
Goodness, thank God.
Mrs. Doubtfire took its place.
If you haven't seen Jim Cotta. Number 9. Number 9 for me is on his shirt. Number 9 for me comes from 2002 in a book by Robert Ludlum, and you never would have thought that Matt Damon would be a good superhero type, fight a bunch of guys. But the Bourne Identity is on my list at number 9. I thought that was really creative and wonderful, and my favorite scene is when he's on the park bench and the police officer comes to hassle him and he sticks the nightstick in his chest and he grabs it. He has this moment of, wait, I can do a bunch of cool shit. And then he does a bunch of cool shit. Yeah. The Bourne Identity. Not that I'm going to bag on the rest of the Bournes. They're awesome, but the Bourne Identity is number 9 for me.
I'm with you. I'm glad you did it because I had to take one of them off for me today to make room.
For the one you just said? Jesus. Jim Cotta?
You know, economy.
Very well. That is number 9. Number 8.
Number 8. Okay. What year? 1991. Yeah, 1991. Yeah, again, college, I was just learning about what was out there. Jeff Speakman, The Perfect Weapon.
No, it is not Jeff Speakman, The Perfect Weapon. Is it really?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you copy me?
I did not copy you. Jeff Speakman's The Perfect Weapon is not on my list.
Perfect. Shall I? Let's play the movie.
Jeff Speakman, The Perfect Weapon?
Did you see it?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay.
No, I gotta go see it.
Yeah, it's mainly the.
Does he beat up a bunch of guys?
Yeah.
He takes.
Yeah, he comes back. His teacher, his friends, the town is getting run over, and he pulls out his sticks and does kenpo everywhere.
The Roadhouse.
But what really stuck with me there was that he would have these flashbacks where he would remember being, kicked around in high school a bit and fighting back, and I don't know, all that kind of stuff resonated. I was going through that thing of, yeah, that'd be nice to kind of
beat up bullies in your life. Yeah.
just to feel confident about where you ended up growing up, but it had that kind of heightened stuff where he had a tiger dragon ring, and he was like, if we're gonna fight, I gotta spin to the dragon.
He spins it around
When
until
you know
which
you're in
one.
trouble.
That's a part of Kung Fu, the television series with David Carradine, and he gets burns on his on his arms when it's time for him to leave and go out into the world. And the Shaolin masters have a dragon on one arm and a tiger on the other. It's the yin and yang. The dragon is good and the tiger is bad, or the tiger is aggression and the dragon is wisdom.
Yeah, but yeah, Perfect Weapon.
Jeff Speakman's The Perfect Weapon. That's a deep cut, dude. That is a deep cut. My number 8 comes from 1976. I couldn't go this far without a solo action hero being a Western. Starring Sandra Locke, Chief Dan George, and the man himself, Clint Eastwood. This is The Outlaw Josie Wales, which is one of my favorite Westerns, and if you love Westerns, it's one of your favorites as well. It's got a ton of great quotable lines, and yeah, it's the typical when they catch him and he gets caught 10 or 12 times, and they always have their guns on him. It's like, no, we need to bring him in alive. Let's not shoot him now and get the trophy. Let's just wait. You pull out your gun slow, and I'm sure nothing will happen. And then, of course, he shoots everybody like 100 times. With the greatest line being, you boys gonna pull those pistols or whistle Dixie. The Outlaw Josie Wales.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
That's a good
That
one.
was hard. Yeah.
That's a,
It's very difficult to list these. Very difficult.
Lay him down.
What are we at here? 7?
I believe we are at 7.
Number 7. So I'm not as saturated with this movie as the others on the list, but I do know it. And the odd part was that, like I said about the 1998 cutoff, this came out in 1998. I just so happened to look on when its release date was, and it was the actual day I got in the car from Georgia to drive to California. So I was like, has to go on the list. Because it literally kind of it painted the picture of what I would be out here, which was a 1 foot in acting, 1 foot in stunts, a daywalker, if you would. Blade.
Oh,
And
that should be on my list. I love Blade so much.
I had to have Wesley Snipes on here because there's a couple of his movies that were Passenger 57, Drop Zone. I almost was playing with, but and the debate in my head was, that was the clincher of that date, but it's the original superhero movie. It's the first one for Marvel, really.
Before X-Men.
Before
X-Men
everything.
came out,
And if
before the MCU.
Yeah, and if you watch it, and that's a theme through my list too. It's the firsts. So when you have the firsts, you no one's adhering to a formula yet. Everything's pure because the filmmakers are just like, we don't know what this is going to be, so we're just giving our best here. But when you watch Blade, and I love Logan, but you hear people say like Logan's the one that they started cursing in. But go watch Blade. Blade did everything first. It's the first one, and he's super cool in it. The whole movie is super cool.
The opening scene in the subway, where he goes down to kill hundreds of vampires in once.
His intro is great. His
It
intro
is.
is great.
Yeah, the first Blade, great pick. It's not on my list. No, man. No, man. That's a great pick.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Number 7 comes out from 1985, and I know it's on your list. I just don't know where it's on your list.
You might be surprised.
It's not going to be on your list?
Maybe.
From 1985. This is back when there was a battle between two actors making movies, between Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is Arnold's first offering as him by himself really killing hundreds and hundreds of men without getting a single scratch. This is Commando.
Yeah.
With Alyssa Milano and Bill Duke, and who plays Bennett? I wrote that down.
Oh.
Bennett is the villain, and his name is
I know it too.
Vernon Wells.
Yes.
Vernon Wells plays the Mohawk guy in The Road Warrior with Mel Gibson. Vernon Wells is a great villain, plays Bennett. And yeah, Commando, which has our favorite scene when he needs weapons. He takes a bulldozer and drives into a Big Five Sporting Goods, which has claymore mines and grenades and rocket launchers,
and basketballs.
like it does. Okay, look, there's a secret place. Yeah, he just runs through and he takes like an hour in there to grab all the stuff, and the cops never show up. I love Commando. Commando is so good. Yes. Oh, I could go on and on.
He's a best friend of mine, so I knew you'd put that on the list. That's why I didn't. I'm set in space. I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to spread the word.
He made space for Jeff Speakman.
Well, it's one of my favorite movies ever.
And the reason, because no one else will make space for Jeff Speakman.
No. Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but
I can't speak for Jeff Speakman.
Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
Hey, if Jeff Speakman's watching, I apologize. I do.
Man.
Oh, there it is. Now we're going Tiger. Crap.
Are we?
What are you on?
6.
6. Okay. 6? Okay, we're on 6. Okay.
6. Yes, big time inspiration to me. This is for the actor and the director. And I was I just started acting and fight choreography in college. And this is 1995. Let's play Desperado.
Oh, I love Desperado.
I was big. I was all about him. I was all about Antonio Banderas. I was all about Robert Rodriguez, I was making my own little short films that, on that kind of low budget. I was very interested in that stuff. But hearing about this guy, Robert Rodriguez, using a wheelchair for his dolly and the stuff he was doing, Desperado is the full-on production version of
El Mariachi.
Of El Mariachi. Yeah. So that was I believe a short first, and then
which has amazing stunts as well. I don't know if that's still available to watch on streaming or whatnot, but Desperado.
Yeah, it's a really, really good one.
It's so fun. That's what it is. It's so fun. That is a fun action movie. Antonio Banderas has never been that cool since.
Oh.
It is so... okay. I'm waiting. Where has he been that cool?
I mean, I have coffee with him all the time. He pays.
Making shit up.
I loved him in Assassins with Stallone.
Ooh, Assassins is not good, but I did like that
He's great.
too.
He's great in that.
It's where our coffee cup blows up, by the way. If you guys haven't seen that coffee cup.
What he has coffee?
No, that's the Specialist, isn't it? I'm
Probably
mixing
the
up movies.
Specialist, yeah. I think you're right.
Who's the bad guy in the Specialist? That's Stallone too, right?
Woods.
James Woods,
Yeah.
Specialist. Mm-hmm. Specialist. By the way, don't watch The Specialist. That's not on our list.
We're not. You can do what you want.
You could do what you want, but don't watch The Specialist.
Hashtag don't blame us.
That's a great one. That is an absolutely great one.
Really good.
I love Desperado. Number 6. I tried not to put two actors on my list, and when I was making my list, I realized I put an actor twice. and it's not who you'd think.
Oh my God, Tom.
But as far as solo action movies where the one beats up the rest, I have to go the first Matrix. The first Matrix starring Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne et al. It's one of those perfect movies for me. It's like Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark. These movies, like, does it have flaws? I don't think so. I don't think The Matrix has any flaws. I thought it was so good. And you can skip the rest, for my opinion, the second, the third, the made-for-TV movie or whatever that was called on the fourth one. But my goodness, the first, yeah. Now, there were other people in that fighting and shooting and whatnot, but he is the one. And they keep saying it, he's the one. The Matrix is so good.
And you know what's weird about that? That's a 90s movie.
That's in
1999. That doesn't feel like that. But that's
No, it
considered a
doesn't.
90s movie.
That was when, I moved to LA in 98
Yeah.
and saw that. I saw that the week after I saw episode 1.
Right? Say, oh yeah, 99.
Episode 1, and we waited to go see episode 1, and then my girlfriend at the time and I saw The Matrix, not knowing anything about it, and walked out. We're like, what was that? That was so good. That was really good. That was really, very good. Yeah. The Matrix, number 6.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Thank you.
We're back after a short break. Back to the list, people. Number 5.
5.
Number 5, gimme.
You will get. Okay, so number 5.
Weird thing you picked.
It's not that. This one's not that weird.
Okay.
For in your mind, I could tell. I know this guy.
I'm gonna know it.
So this one's one of the. It's in a category of. It's a group first, and then it whittles down to the solo. And there was a couple of those to choose from, but I chose this one because I needed one with. There's 2 actors in this that I really wanted on this list, and this was the first rated R movie I was allowed to go see with my dad in the theater. I was 13, so 1987. If it bleeds,
We can kill
Kill
it.
it.
Predator. Predator is one of my favorite movies, and since Prey came out, have you seen Prey?
I did, and I really wanted to
I loved Prey.
say both of them would be on this list, but I was doing it before '98.
After seeing Prey, I watched Predator. Predator holds up because it's in the jungle and there's no technology, there's no cell phones, there's no things. It's as good today as it was in 1987. It needs no revisions.
Yeah.
The Predator is so good and fun.
And I really wanted something with Arnold and Carl Weathers. Those 2 huge names for me growing up. They were those 2 guys alone were all over my wall.
And Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, the whole cast. It's just a solid. John McTiernan directed, and solid.
Just tell the folks at home who was supposed to play the Predator.
He did film a little bit, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And if you ever see any footage that's floating around, it was a big red foam looking, like almost like a crab lobster thing. And I think it was just the placeholder visual, but and I don't think it was a long-lived job. I just think they decided to change. I don't know why.
I have seen a couple of interviews, and the best reasoning I have heard is that Jean-Claude Van Damme, as awesome as that man is short. And he had to look ominous and dangerous next to Jesse the Body Ventura, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers. And these men are giants. These are huge, muscular dudes. And Jean-Claude Van Damme is not that tall.
Yeah.
So they cast Kevin Peter Hall.
Awesome. Who also did Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons, yes. Gee, it's
And-
almost like we know each other.
And another a TV show he was on with no makeup, Misfits of Science, with Courtney Cox.
Oh, wow.
And I could go. Oh my God, the brain is popping open. Dean Martin's son was on it, and Misfits of Science, like an early version of an X-Men show, if I remember correctly.
Deep cut. Hell.
I'm cutting up. I need Band-Aids, y'all.
Predator. Now we're going to get really, 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 really awful nerdy on this one because this comes out from 1992, and this came out when a lot of other solo action movies came out, and this one stars Tommy Lee Jones, Gary Busey, and in the lead as is Steven Seagal, Under Siege.
I knew you'd put this on there.
He knows I love Under Siege.
Yeah.
Is it a good movie? No, probably not. It's just so entertaining as heck. I mean, Tommy Lee Jones, Gary Busey, they're all way over the top. And the plot is that they hijack a battleship and they're trying to offload Tomahawk missiles onto a submarine. And Steven Seagal plays Chief Ryback, who's a cook. He's been demoted to cook, but he's also a former Navy SEAL who can kill hundreds and hundreds of men at a time. And oh, it's so perfect. It's not in the 80s, but it's perfect 80s cheese action style movie, Under Siege. Oh, so good.
It's in the line of the handful of movies that came after Die Hard, which were this was Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard on a you name
Exactly.
it. Yeah, it's a highly watchable, fun. Everyone's having fun. Tommy Lee Jones is having a blast in this thing. So
They have to. They're like every line they get is like just more over the top. Wear the sunglasses. Wear the sunglasses in the shot. Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh fam. Under Siege.
What was that number for you?
That was number 5.
So we're on 4.
We're on number 4.
This is my loophole movie. This is my way of speaking about a couple other movies that I didn't have room for on this list. So
You're cheating.
that's what a loophole is. I figured it out. I gamed your system. You can walk away from your own show. I don't care. I got this.
I'm staying.
Hello, Burbank.
I'm staying.
I knew we were going to get through this thing.
No. Not a chance.
So there's a particular entity in our Earth that is just too godlike to be on a list like this, which is Bruce Lee. So that's why none of his movies are on my list, because it's like, I don't know. That's it. It just he's too up there, too way influential. But this is my way of honoring him, and also honoring the Matrix movies and John Wick, and I'll tell you why. 1994. I was on the way to. This was in college. No, actually, 1993. I was in college, walking to the on-campus movie theater to watch a movie called Rapid Fire with Brandon Lee. On the walk, this is why I'll never forget this movie. On the walk there is when I heard about him passing away on set of The Crow. And the next year, The Crow came out. This movie so highly influential to me, just because it was Bruce Lee's son. I was following all the things in the magazines. We didn't have internet then at all, so right. And
Yeah, there was no instant news. You had to find it where you could find it in fan magazines.
and the connection, just for my onset education, that accident was burned in my head about what happened, about the accidental.
For those of you
shooting.
that don't know, Brandon Lee was shot on set from a blank firearm or something. There was an accident where he was killed on set
Yeah,
during a scene.
with the actual prop weapon, and
But The Crow is terrifying and good. It's
good.
it's a gothic masterpiece, is what it is.
yeah.
The Crow is great. Oh, by the way, sorry to interrupt. If you haven't been to my TikTok channel, I do a TikTok review of the graphic novel of The Crow, which is life-changing. If you haven't read that, it's amazing and terrifying and brilliant. It's wonderful.
Right on.
The Crow. Hell yes.
Awesome. My tie-in to what I said about Matrix and John Wick is that Chad Stahelski, who is the director of John Wick, was Brandon Lee's double in that movie. I think it was his first stunt double job, and I know they knew. From what I understand, they knew each other. He was teaching at the Inosanto academy, so he knew Brandon. He moved like him, and he was picked after the accident to basically be all the fill-in shots, and that must have been really hard to do, right? To fill in for your buddy, but
Yeah.
but Chad is also the Crow, if you look at it that way. and that's my little loophole tie-in to about every movie Bruce Lee did.
That was a long way to get home, but we got home. I
like travel.
Love The Crow. So number 4. Now, because you're going so deep, I know you didn't put this one on your list, but we did talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger, so it's time to mention his counterpart. This is from 1982, and this is not the one everybody would pick. Everybody picks Part 2. I have to go with the original. I have to go First Blood. First Blood with Sylvester Stallone and Brian Dennehy and Richard Crenna as one of the greatest solo action movies, one versus many. And it's the typical drifter in from out of town, and we don't like your kind. Why? Because, well, because you're here in town. And they try to oust him, and that's the first appearance of John Rambo. I love First Blood. That's a great movie. A lot of folks want to put Rambo First Blood Part 2, and I thought you might, but I'm picking First Blood. I love that. And for those that don't know, it has the greatest ending credits theme song sung by Frank Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's brother, called It's a Long Road. And it's hysterical and watchable. It's a long road when you're on your road. You can hang it out because you can find a friend. Seriously though, First Blood.
Because love will kill you. Okay.
Number 3.
Number 3. This was just a fun one for me. A huge 1991. I cheated on this one. I have to go to the judges on this one. It's one guy playing 2 parts.
Okay, I already know what it is.
And I'm going to go ahead and say Jean-Claude Van Damme, Double Impact.
Yeah.
I love this. I just love going to this one. I love watching it. The grand scope, it's got the mixture of U.S. action plus Hong Kong action. I love this one for many, many reasons. Van Damme, just the way the guy moves, playing I love the 2 characters he plays. And the stunt coordinator, the U.S. stunt coordinator was Vic Armstrong, who was Harrison Ford's indie double, or one of the 3 indie doubles. And his brother, Andy Armstrong, plays Van Damme's father in the beginning. And he plays this great character when you just go, even if you don't know anything about the movie or Van Damme, you go, yeah, that's an action hero's dad, right? He's such a badass guy. And but it's comic booky. It's not based on a comic book, but it's just got that grand scope.
I haven't seen Double Impact in years. That's great though.
Just that action. Bolo Young is in it again with, I didn't put Bloodsport here, but Bolo's in that too. It was also a direct connection to Bruce Lee from Enter the Dragon. And I love going to this movie. I was working at the movie theater too at the time, and that was I knew of Bloodsport and everything, but that Double Impact was my just saturation. I sat back there and just stared at this movie every time as one of the ushers.
Double Impact.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. Number 3. Who was the stunt double for Harrison Ford?
Vic Armstrong.
Vic Armstrong is in this movie. It came out in 1981. It is the original Raiders of the Lost Ark. Which, by the way, since I've seen the new Dial of Destiny a couple of days ago and liked it, I did like it very much. You can see my review on my channel. The Raiders of the Lost Ark is now being called Indiana Jones and the Raiders.
I was just going to bring that up too. When did that happen?
I don't know, but that's not the name. That's not the title of the movie. Also, Star Wars was called Star Wars, not Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah.
But that's whatever. We're old.
Or Episode 4.
We're old. 1981. I was 12 years old, and I remember watching that. It is the first movie we've discussed that makes archaeology look cool, as opposed to what it actually is, which is trying to dig out a building out of the sand with a toothbrush.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
If that.
But suddenly it made it look awesome and amazing and cool. Raiders of the Lost Ark is fun from beginning to end, and it's got historical perspective in it, and it's rich. It has John Williams' score, which anything he does is amazing, and you're on board. In for a penny, in for a pound. Raiders of the Lost Ark, number 3.
Shoot. Yep. Well, my list is over.
Okay.
right.
Deal with it.
We'll go quick.
What's number 2?
Number 2 for me, First Blood. First Blood.
I already said the things, but
I know, but I should have. Should I take it? Do you want to give an alternate?
I would have bet all my money that you would have picked Rambo.
No, I really, I liked all of them, but I really appreciate the firsts because they weren't trying to be anything yet. The Rambos, for those of you who've seen, all changed. You know, the First Blood was like a really good drama, had a really good commentary. The action was cinematic, but it wasn't like superhuman.
True. Everything. John Rambo can't do the things he's doing in the movie. He's an action hero, but it's the most believable of any of them.
Yeah, and it is the one that at that age, I didn't see. So those movies, I didn't see that movie when it came out. I was too young. But when I came to them a little later, like '85, that's probably when I saw that. But that First Blood and Rambo, just Rambo alone was the character that when I was getting, you know, I don't want to go as far as saying bullied, but that was happening. That was my guy to look at, especially First Blood when he's just trying to walk and he gets harassed by the cop and that whole attitude of just leave me alone, guys. And then they tell him to leave and he starts leaving, but then he goes, no. That was me when I lived in Louisiana. I went through those. I would take my dog for a walk and I would get harassed by all these people and I refused to not go that way. And yeah, that was the guy that kind of helped me through that.
First Blood. So good. It is really good.
Therapy.
Hell yeah. All right, number 2. Now, yeah, you shied away from it. I didn't.
I get shy.
I didn't shy away from it.
I'm sorry.
He said he wouldn't mention it. He said we can't put him at the top because he's an old otherworldly thing.
He is.
He's not an otherworldly thing. He is the dragon, and the dragon needs to be on my list. Okay. Number 2 is 1974's. Is 1973? It's 1973. Starring Jim Kelly, John Saxon, Bolo Young, Shi Qian, and the perfect Bruce Lee. Enter the Dragon. If you love action movies and you've not seen Enter the Dragon, please watch it now. Please watch Enter the Dragon. It is so good. Jim Kelly as Black Belt Jones is amazing. John Saxon as Roper. Every single line by every single actor is the coolest thing anyone's ever said.
Yeah.
Like everything. Yeah, I can't think of a specific example other than, yeah, everyone is a complete badass and so cool. And Bruce Lee, yeah, he fights hundreds and hundreds of guys. He uses, what's the 2 sticks?
Is it nunchucks?
He does the nunchucks, he does the
screamer, yeah. He does everything in it.
Yeah, Enter the Dragon, which is Bruce Lee, which came out posthumously after he passed away.
Yeah.
It was released. It is his best work. One versus many, solo action, Enter the Dragon. Yeah, and Bolo Young's in it, who Bruce Lee fights, and then Bolo Young fights Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport, and
Double Impact.
And yeah, he doesn't age.
Yeah. Jackie Chan is actually one of the many in that movie that Bruce Lee fights.
There's a scene where Bruce Lee dives out of a window, and that is Jackie Chan, who did the stunt. And Jackie Chan has said in hundreds of interviews that Bruce Lee is the best. Like, as many people try to comment, it's like, well, you're as good as Bruce Lee. He's like, no. Bruce Lee was the best. So good. Enter the Dragon, number 2. Yeah. All right, can we get a drum roll, please?
It's already, yeah.
Number 1.
This movie was, whatever list is ever in front of me, this is going on it. I don't care if it's a best claymation, this is going on. But it's already been said, 1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Hands down, it is my favorite. It's everything for me. It calms me down. It feels like home. The action in it is so, the Spielberg directed action is so framed where you can follow everything, and I just love it. I just love every single bit of it. And as a kid, it's kind of odd how I knew the actors and the stunt people. I don't know why I've been like this, but I've always known who Harrison Ford and Armstrong and Terry Leonard are, and Terry Leonard is the guy who goes under the truck. He actually does the under truck stunt, and in the same scene, he's the guy driving the truck, which is just a great thing.
I'm driving the truck and pulling myself along behind it.
It's in the story, kind of. But like the chase scene that we're talking about, I mean, just the guys in the back of that truck, I want it to be them so much. Too, like Peter Diamond's back there, who was the stunt coordinator for Star Wars, and I mean, you name it. I mean, these guys, the whole, all of that stuff. I mean, Vic Armstrong, to me, his wife, Wendy Leach, yes, is there. His wife is the stunt double for all the women in all the first 3 movies. So that's their job together. I've always just admired that. Raiders all together, Lucas, Harrison Ford, Spielberg, the stunt teams. It's just perfect for me.
It's a flawless movie. It's a perfect movie, but it is not my number 1.
Sheesh, sorry.
My number 1 has been mentioned in reference to Under Siege. It comes from 1990, and I remember seeing it in the theater at the mall when I worked at Spencer Gifts. Carrie and I went, and I remember thinking, is this going to be really any good? The guy from Moonlighting? I mean, really? Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, Die Hard. And yes, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Because we talk about whether or not it's a Christmas movie around Christmas, which makes it a Christmas movie. Die Hard is the typical and perfect one guy versus many, and he gets the crap kicked out of him every scene. He's bleeding from every orifice on his body. He uses his last bullet to kill the last guy.
What?
That's right. Get it straight. I love Die Hard so much. I watch it every Christmas. I watch it at least twice a year. It's flawless. It's so fun. It's so fun and entertaining, and it's go, 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 go. And Alan Rickman's performance, I mean, you can put Snape up there as one of his best, and Robin Hood, but yeah, Die Hard. Die Hard is Hans Gruber. Oh, spectacular. I love Die Hard. It is number 1 on my list until I change it tomorrow, because like I said, we've been saying all these movies, and now it's going to go like that. But yeah, one versus many solo action movies. Trip, tell them where they can find you online. Are you online? Where are you?
I am on Instagram.
Cool.
Couldn't even tell you how I have it up there, but it's okay.
It's right there.
Whoa! That's how I spell it.
It's right here on that. And I'm going to post a link at the end of this video to Trip's stunt reel, which you can see, which is marvelous to watch, and some other links as well in the descriptions. But thank you for coming on the Tom Patelson Show to talk about our top 10 solo action movies.
Thank you for the invite.
It's spectacular. It's fantastic. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this content, and hit that notification bell to let you know when my stuff drops. It drops on Sunday. I'll never be able to do this with you sitting there, but I'm going to try it anyways. He's going to go nuts. I knew it. Till I see you next time, peace, love, live long, and prosper. And I mean it.